probably the most important soli passage that the double bass has is the Beethoven Ninth Symphony Recitative that's in the beginning of the fourth movement. Never before had any composer used the bass in such a way. True, this is with cello as well, but for us, it's probably the single most important excerpt on any orchestra audition. Let's talk about some of the technical issues in performing this piece. Of course, you can do down, down here, or as I prefer, up, down. Now, right at the end of this note, it's very important to make a breath and to do a retake with the bow. So retake doesn't always mean that you repeat the direction you were going in, but it means you move the bow to a different place to be more advantageous for what you're about to play. So you have 1, 2, off. And it's really important to do that. To do this would be completely wrong. So, off. Hook this. Now, this B flat that's coming next has a little accent on it, but it doesn't mean to do this. It means a deep, rich accent. Very important to close this G. Now comes 7 bars of rest, which in any audition, you do not count those bars. You just go on to the next entrance. But following the next entrance, you have to count the rests before the next entrance. So 1, 3, 1, 2, 3. You must count those rests accurately. It's very important. 1, 3, 1, 2, 3. Breath. I suggest A string for this. And it's almost always a little slower than what you just played. So not more retard than that. Going on, I suggest that the second of these eighth notes, that one, be longer and more connected to the following note, which is an E flat. So off, breath. Try hooking this. Sometimes it's done separately. It flows better when you hook. 2, 3, now retake up. And sometimes I like to do rather than play open D, but either way is fine. So 2, 3. Now, poco adagio, very soft, very slow. Next entrance, I suggest all on the G string, as opposed to, both are okay, gives you more of the same tone color. Now this note does not have any dynamic marked, but it's more often played softer than forte. So you have, there's always a breath. I would come off of it dynamically a little bit, no matter what. So, breath. And this bar does not have a retard written. It's almost always done a little bit, but don't do a lot, just a little retard. So, now the next entrance, I think, works best if you start on the D string with almost no vibrato. Now don't start this passage too slow. All of these excerpts are all marked tempo 1. That means they're all this tempo. So this one especially, be careful to keep that tempo. Don't play slower. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And that is the end of the phrase that you just played. Now comes a new phrase. So that sounds like this. Now a breath, a new phrase. you can either do or. Next entrance, this first quarter note is a quarter note in cut time. So it's not the same length as a quarter note in 3/4 tempo 1 time. So you have to count 1, 2, 1, because the orchestra is going bum ba da dee dee da 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 bum ba da dee dee da. 2, 2, 3. These two notes have to be lyrical, not separated. Breath, tied. Not, but, and the breath is very important. So, now right here is a big retard. It's always held back. 3, 1, 2, 3. You can close that note, but I like the sound of the open, and make sure that these are very connected. Now, on to the Ode to Joy, which here again is just cellos and basses. I like doing this all on the D string, very soft at the tip. So you may have noticed that there are places where the natural breath happens, and I make space for those to occur. So right here. Right here. Right here. And make sure when you're learning this piece to continue on to the accompaniment that comes right after this. Sometimes it's asked on auditions. People aren't prepared for it, and you need to be.